Beautiful beings of the universe, welcome to now. Another nice day, and it's very cold in fact. It's getting very chilly here in Sydney. Anyway, I wanted to speak about this message today that is about it's not precisely that you would be hated so much by others, than the fact that you want to delay all of those steps and things that you think would actually bring you face to face and confront yourself with your own fears, right? That means that we basically do not want to do the work that we know inside we've got to do, but instead it's always easy that you just want the endpoints met. That means that you do not want to be insulted by others. That means you do not want to be yelled upon by others. That means you do not want to be laughed upon by others. However, in order to avoid those things, you know that you need to make yourself capable. That means you need to make yourself in a position where you are proud to be yourself. Now, that precisely means a lot of hard work, which we all want to escape, and nobody really wants to do that work, and everybody just wants to escape that. And the entire point, the reason, if you see why we want to escape and run away from those points, is because of pain. Because what is failure? Precisely, failure is pain. And nobody wants to be in pain. We just want to feel ecstatic, happy, joyful, healthy all the time. So basically, we want to just ride the one side of life and not the other. And that's not possible because the fact that you're alive, you've got to go through both of those. And it's not a choice that you can, whether you have a choice of not facing the other side, it's impossible. You've got to face both the two. So then this brings us to the point of control. We want to control the situations which are only in our favor, and we want to run away from the fact that whatever goes against our desires, we do not want to agree to them. But that's impossible because that's what the truth tells us. If this illusion of control was truly in our hands, we would have just let go by of all the negative situations and circumstances. And that means why the entire reason why everybody's after power and control and fame is because of this. They think that, okay, if I'm rich, if I'm famous, then probably I can control. However, your idea of control is very shallow. You can control maybe some aspect, which too is not actually your control. You just have this illusion of control because in reality you do not have control. Things happen because the situations have molded itself around you that you get to do those things. Now, it's absolutely not in your control to see why the situation was at certain place so and so. However, you want to feel this thing that, okay, I do have certain control over things which I can do. Well, so if you are at that intelligence in which you know what you need to do in order to be somewhere from point A to B, we go ahead and do that. But in reality, we do not have all of the 100% of control given to us. So like this question was asked to Sri Ravi Shankar about this question on how much control do we have. Basically a question on free will. Do we really have free will or not? So he said a very nice answer. He said that actually 100% we do not have all of control. But as long as you feel that you have some control, utilize that. Use that to your free will. But beyond that, you would not have, at certain point you will feel that you do not have all of the extensions and the further control that you need. So at that point, you just need to let go. So your job is only to do whatever best you can do. But whether the result is going to be in your favor or against that, we don't know. However, avoidance of certain tasks would 100% ensure that you are not basically doing the right thing. And that comes out in sense of your inner voice. That's basically your gut, your intuition telling you that you're not doing right. However, when you do accept and you gather the courage and say that, okay, now I have the energy, and understand this, that you would not have the energy unless and until you have started that task. So if you're scared to do something and you think once upon a time or one fine day, 10 days from now, I would gather that courage and then I muster that courage so I can exactly hit on that task. I don't know if that works for you. Again, it's a game set. It's a game in your mind. So if you believe that way, and if you are truly If you truly mean and believe in that, probably that would happen. But apart from that, make sure that if you just keep on prolonging a certain thing, basically a thing that you fear the most is going to turn into a bigger monster. So it's basically better to grab the fear by the neck and upfront it and just confront it face to face, head on with it. So at that point, you must get over your fear of dying. So even if it's a situation like you are one person and there are hundreds of people that come around you who are all against you, what choices do you have now? So you have either the choice to run away, or the other choice is that you just face it. And that means you're okay with whatever comes. Basically, it's also that if you, which we all know, the thing about change, right? So everything is constantly changing. So nothing would last forever. So if you do not die today, some point in the future you have to die. So if the situation so arose in front of you that you've got to face that sort of situation, well, then so be it. What you want to avoid is enmeshing yourself into the trap of useless thoughts and thinkings, which definitely does not help you. So what you want to do really is cut short of all of those haze around you, and to be able to stay strong and listen to your own inner voice. That means basically believing a lot into your inner self and shutting down the voice of the outer society, because you know that's most of the time garbage. And I know it's easy to say, right? It's very easy to say, and in that real-time system, when you are actually in that scenario where you feel pretty much shallow and you feel that, oh, I've actually got no support system. Well, then if you have actually nobody to turn to, just come back to your heart space, because that is the thing which is always there with you. And by the way, all the illusion of the outer friends and families is all a lie, because truly who you are and what your inner soul calling is, that's only something that you know. So get past this illusion of somebody else trying to come and soothe you and help you. It's just never going to happen. So anytime you give your power to the outer world, to the outer situation, to external things, it's only going to basically, you're going to be disappointed, because if you put your trust into others that they're going to do such and such stuff for me, that might not be met all of the time. So what is the real power? The real power is actually vulnerability. The more vulnerable you are, the more powerful you get. But how the society is designed is like, you show to the outer world that you are so strong and you are this and that and you have got so much and so much stuff, and that's a proof to the outer world that you are strong. That's not the case. True power comes from absolute vulnerability, when you are okay. Just like you get to learn a lot from the trees, from the nature. So a plant, basically, why a small seed would turn to a giant humongous tree like so. You see, they're so strong and tall. And they did not get to become this way if they were in the illusion that I'm so strong and yes, I'm going to be that huge tree. That all started from a seed. And because the seed was absolutely on its own, it did not depend on nothing else, that it got that power and that much of strength. And because it had the courage and believe in itself, on that one soul primal energy of life, which is the life force that it had, and it dared to go through all of the storms. See, we need to learn a lot from trees. They are just enduring everything else that's basically thrown at them, and they're still going so strong. So for me, nature is my teacher. For me, my own intuition is my teacher. Although it might sound like going to external gurus and people and stuffs and mentors is going to help you, but what I believe, and in my experience, I think the best teacher is your own inner teacher. You need to learn to respect that. You need to learn to give reverence to that. And basically not lie to your own self. If you have these, you need not hire an external trainer for something. Unless and until you are doing some sort of Olympic goal that you have for yourself. Well, if you have that clear a goal, definitely hiring a teacher makes sense. But if it's just about simple things, I think our inner intuition has got all of those things which keeps on telling you do this and do that. But it's because we are lazy and we do not want to listen to our own self, because we do not have our own belief systems. We have been taught by society that you need to always depend on others. You need to be in such and such a setup so that you can say, okay, now I'm certified. Why should the entire system be bred upon on certification? Like, look at all of the great people. They did not have any sort of a special certification, but they had the courage. Basically, you must have the courage to die because learning is a process of dying. Whatever you learn means that your older self must die. And what is your older self is your smaller I, which says, I cannot do this, I cannot do that because I'm too weak. And see, people make fun of me, and I'm just like, I just don't believe in myself. So that is your smaller I, which you have given birth to yourself. But you might say, wait a minute, I did not do all of that. It was the society. See, when I was small, when I was younger, and maybe at school, you did not rank first in the class, and you were not the topper. Say you were an average student who would get a rank like 10 out of a class of 30 to 35 students. So your teachers and your school system would set you up as a mediocre student or just as an average student who's okay, but still has got a lot of room for growth. Now, if in a real setup of education system wherein you are actually cultivating the thing which you are born for, in the sense, how do you know what you are born for? Is by your innate calling, by being aware of what is that something you would do despite no money being the factor. That means, can you do some task which you truly enjoy, that you love doing, and would you still go on doing that at any age without money? Precisely those are the things that society needs from you. As a creator, that's when you create something of beauty. And to the society right now, as long as it has not truly fructified itself, it has not brought itself into life completely, well, if you go on talking about that, people will say, oh, but that's no use. See, nobody wants that in society. For example, look at this role of therapist these days. So everybody is having a therapist, right? They want to talk to somebody who can fix their emotional wounds or traumas or whatever. But you truly look at it, and this too has become like an industry now, and everybody is getting a certification or a degree in therapy, and then they say, hey, well, I'm your new age therapist and I can cure your issues and I can heal your wounds. How's that possible? So they do the childhood backtracking, and then they go back and find out your inner child issues that you had, or maybe your parents were too strict about you and you've got to be number one in the class, and there was a lot of educational pressure growing up that you have got to be the best. You should be number one in the company that you work for. You should be getting the best grades. You should be on the top payment. You should be getting the best salary so you can have finest homes and stuff like that. All of those external standards. Now that, even if you keep on winning that game, it's going to leave you very hollow and empty. So end of the day, you would not feel, I'm at home. And when do you truly feel you are at home? When you are in the now. And being in the now totally is a thing of dying. Because in the now, you have dropped your idea of desire and you have also dropped your ideas of fear. So being in the now, you absolutely stay in the now. That means you are, see, you can basically think about it like a wave in the ocean. So when there's a boat that cuts through the river and that leaves lots of ripples behind. So the ripples at the back, at the end of it, is basically like your past. And as your ship is moving through that river, the exact point in which it cuts the river, that is your now. And the river that lies ahead, that is in the future. So being in the now, if you are truly being in the now, you would have no fear. You would have no desire as well. Because your whole attention is only on the right now moment of whatever you are doing. If you are washing a dish, you are 100% engaged in washing the dish. You are not thinking about, oh, I need to do that task. I've not done that thing. Or what happens to the future? I don't know. Or would I be a successful or a failure? Or would people approve of me? Or will they hate me? Will they love me or will they attack me? You do not know. So being in the now, you're absolutely in the now, and you just go on creating from that place. And what's your motivation? There is just no motivation. In the now, you just act whatever needs to be acted upon. And it does not mean that if you are living in the now, you would not face failures. There would be failures. Like if you are doing if you are lifting weights, and if you feel that in the now moment you are lifting, and your certain body muscle feels stretched out, or you feel pain in the body, definitely that would be there. You cannot escape the pain. But what you're avoiding is the emotional turmoil, which keeps on telling, oh, I'm such a loser. I cannot even lift this much of weight. I cannot even lift 8 kilos. I cannot even lift 10 kilos. I'm so weak. Look at others. They are so stronger than me. You let go of all of those expectations, and you basically just come down and see to where you are right now. And you stop comparing yourself to others, because we are all of the time comparing ourselves to others that, oh, they are so successful. Their video is so much better than mine. So what am I going wrong? And then the path ahead is such a long, humongous path. But well, you've just got to go one step at a time, doing things right now, 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 now. So stay in the now and have a great day, my friend. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.